Welcome to the Body Talks podcast with me, Dr. Brook Sheehan. I'm a chiropractor extraordinaire who speaks the language of the body, not to be confused with body language. Join me on this show as I disrupt current beliefs about where health comes from and how you can discover your greatest health potential without having to spend hours away from your life's work in order to do so. Because reaching these levels of health is possible once you learn how to carry on a dialogue with the greatest creation to ever exist, the human body. By tuning into the whispers your body speaks and addressing them, you avoid the potential damage that is created when the body begins to scream, allowing you to experience healing in a whole new way. This show will guide you towards true health so you can continue to change the world. Your body holds the answers. I'm here to help you discover them on the Body Talks podcast, starting now. Welcome to another episode of the Body Talks podcast with me, Dr. Brook. The question I ask you every single week or every single episode is, your body is speaking. It's speaking to you in whispers. But the key question here, are you listening? As the body whisperer, I am confident that your body will thank you for the time you took to listen to this episode today. This topic that I'm going to be speaking about is something that's very near and dear to my heart, something that can make me smile with giddy energy and excitement, and other times make my skin crawl from the inside. That topic today is the topic so many of us hear about, is supplementation. Supplementation. Is it something to do or not to do? And that is the question. To get started, I really want to take us to a place deep within our soul, within our being, and I want you to close your eyes as I paint this picture for you. Now, before we get started, I do have to mention, if you're operating any heavy equipment, running on a exercise machine, out for a walk, or need to use your sight, your visual sense for some reason, of course, do not close your eyes. But if you're in a place where you can close your eyes, take this journey with me. You're walking through your local grocery store, wherever that is, whatever that company is, whatever that looks like for you. You're walking through that grocery store. In your hand is a slip of paper of a few different items that you've written down from another podcast you listened to, from somebody who spoke at some conference, or you heard on the internet. You have a couple different nutritional supplements written on that paper. Now, for the story's sake, I'm going to just say things like vitamin D, things like zinc, vitamin C. These are a lot of our immune boosting supplements, things that are talked a lot about in today's culture with COVID happening. But on that piece of paper, you have a vitamin D, a zinc, and a vitamin C supplement written down. You're making a beeline to the nutritional section in the grocery store. And you arrive. Colorful bottles on the shelves, all different prints and fonts, and claims to be the number one in their respective area, the number one vitamin C, the number one vitamin D. Some have 1,000, some have 2,000, and you have no idea really what the quote unquote amount is that you need, right? See, this happens so many times. As you're walking through this grocery store with this list of supplements that you need and all of these different choices to pick from, we get overwhelmed. We get overwhelmed with not being able to figure out what it is that we need. And so we pick out what we think is the best, what has the best claims, what has all of the different things that, we have heard about. and we don't really know what to pick. Okay, so supplementation on the premise, right, is a good thing. It's a good thing. It can make powerful changes in our bodies. It can do so many things, like, and show up in places where we're lacking. But the problem is there's so much out there that we have no idea if what we're specifically taking is right for us, nor do we know if the right dosing of what we're taking is right for us. See, there can be, you could be taking too much of a good thing, and that could be causing stress to your body. You could be taking too little of something where your body can't even acknowledge that it's there, let alone do anything to process it. You could actually be taking a supplement that is of low quality, right? Low quality supplement that the body has to go through all of these extra steps just to break it down into the format that it can actually utilize. See, the thing is, it's not supplements created equal. And I think that you can agree with me on this, having been down those grocery store aisles, having been in that health food store, and being inundated with so many choices and not sure what one, to make, right? We hear a lot of medical professionals, a lot of friends and family members, a lot of different people speaking about different things and how great they are, or, they had this condition which X supplement helped with, or, you go through Costco, right? Even Costco is, in on this game. And I call it a game because I feel like it's something that people don't have a lot of knowledge about, that it shouldn't be out there, in the public eye, and just being able to like I personally believe supplementation should not be something people should be having the ability to just do. Because honestly, and I know that that is a very bold statement to make, but honestly, that could cause more stress to your system. I want to talk to you today about just in general how like not having quality supplementation can be detrimental to your health, but also how having quality supplementation could be detrimental for your health. So, what does it look like to have low quality supplements being detrimental to your health? Well, I did mention this earlier about having or not giving the body exactly what it needs in the form that it needs. So then it's forced to have to break down all of those components into a usable format. Let's talk, for instance, vitamin B12. Some of you might have seen those vitamin B12 shots. Some of you may not know vitamin B12. Essentially, vitamin B12 is, comes from a lot of like butters and animal fat products. It's essential for our stomach to make intrinsic factor. It's essential for, neurological functioning of our brains. It's essential for a lot of components, right? Vitamin B12, we hear a lot about it sometimes, but people have low doses of vitamin B12. Some people have over elevated levels of B12, and that causes problems. But again, speaking just about vitamin B12. Now, there is the methylated form of B12, which is important for the body. That is in a form that the body can recognize. Methylation essentially is the body's ability to move through its detox pathways appropriately. If you have any issues within your genetics, which most of us do, you are not going to be able to break down a cyanocobalamin, which is the low level version of B12 that you will see in a lot of your, fortified cereals, or, different fortified foods that claim to have, amounts of B12 in them. A lot of vegan foods, guys, I'm just going to be honest with you, have this low level vitamin B12, and great, vegan foods, because they're not eating animal-based products, they're fortifying with B12, which is great, but not great in the sense of having it be such a low form vitamin B12, because essentially that requires a lot of other resources that the body has to allocate and use in order to get that B12 to the level or to the component in which it does need, which is the methylated form of B12. Some people, and this is just a caveat, this is because I like giving general health information to you guys, but one of the big things that I'm always talking about, if you listen to other episodes of this show, is how important it is to get a specific reading of your body. Some people who are low like functioning methylators, like they're not high methylators, or low, like, or slower, they need a different kind of B12. Okay, so again, this is just general information, but I'm making a point here to let you know that having a low level vitamin quality in a cyanocobalamin, for instance, with a B12, you're stressing your system out much more. Okay, that goes for everything. That goes for your B9, which is folate, which you will see a lot of foods fortified with folic acid. Now, again, genetically, if you have any sort of issues being able to detox, let's say, for instance, not to get off a big long tangent here, but I do think it's important to add this in. If you've received one copy from one parent, like a genetic error in your DNA, like they're called SNPs, single nucleotide peptides, if you receive one of those from one parent, your detox pathway runs 30% slower. Now, if you receive two of those, one from one parent, right, each parent, your detox pathways are slowed down by 70%. That's huge. That means all the toxins that we're exposed to on a daily basis, we're exposed to toxins in the air, in the environment, on our clothes, and maybe some of the skincare products we wear. These are all future topics that I will be discussing, but it's important to know all of those toxins you're exposed to, your body is not properly getting rid of them. So it is important to have the proper forms of the supplementation that your body needs in order for you not to stress the system out, because it's so, having to break down all of these processes. I used the example earlier, a few moments ago, about vitamin B9. That in its real form is folate. If you have a methylation problem, folic acid, which is a top of the line process, and top of the line meaning negative, like where the body has to go through 7 to 8 different steps to get it into the proper B9 format that your body can actually use, you're using all of the other, enzymes and proteins and different molecules of things to break that down to something that your body can recognize. So keep that in mind. Low grade vitamins are no bueno. Okay. I think that most of us can understand that just purchasing something, off the shelf, like, may not be the best idea. But after the break, I want to let you know that we're going to be talking about even high grade supplements and what kind of stress high grade supplements can cause to your system. So stay tuned. I will be right back after this small commercial break. All right, welcome back. Thanks for continuing the conversation with me. I hope so far you have learned a great deal of information in the first half about just supplementation in general, taking the walk with me through the grocery store, but also about low quality supplements and why they're not good. Right now, we're going to be talking about high quality supplements and why they're not good. So I am not opposed to supplementation. I just want to put that out there for the record. I am opposed to self diagnosing, quote unquote, self-diagnosing supplementation. I am opposed to supplementation just because it sounds good or you feel like you're being healthy or you're doing well for your body. That's the kind of supplementation I am opposed to. It's absolutely necessary during times. Sometimes supplementation is absolutely necessary in high doses, depending on what conditions or what, environmental triggers we're facing, all of these kind of things. But even the best quality supplements on the market, and I, utilize actually a few different brands in my office. I do want to quickly make note. I am on the scientific advisory board of a company called Autumn DNA, and Autumn is amazing in really helping create a foundational supplement plan that is designed specifically for you based off your own DNA, your own methylation capabilities. I mentioned that earlier. I will put a link to the Autumn DNA kits that you can order. They do not sell any of your DNA data like other companies like 23andMe. And not only do they take a run of your DNA to help you provide or give you that foundational supplementation plan for you, but they also take factors into consideration of your lifestyle. And I did a lot of work in the early on stages with this company to help provide some framework to make sure that you, as the patient, are getting the best quality supplements. I am all about taking a foundational supplement based on your genetics, based on your DNA, and then there is added supplementation on an as-need basis, depending on what condition you're dealing with in that moment, right? I have patients approach me, they're dealing with thyroid conditions. Having a baseline supplementation plan is awesome, but there might be additional things that we need to help support that thyroid, liver, different organs of the body. So high quality supplements, like I was talking about, these are what you consider nutraceuticals. These are almost like pharma grade nutraceuticals. They are power packed. They are in the form that the body can recognize without having to be stressed out to break down and to go through all of its processes. However, just because they're higher quality does not mean they are right for you. And just for emphasis sake, I need to say that again. Just because they are higher quality does not mean they are right for you. I personally am so guilty of this, especially in practice. I'm a physician, I'm seeing patients. We have supplements all across our shelves. They're not for sale. We do not sell supplements for sale in our office unless the patient's body is calling for it in that moment. Course, then that supplement is available to them. But we do not just generally sell supplements in the office. In fact, purchasers, like people who know the brand that we sell and trying to get their hands on it, find our office information from the manufacturer, try to call in and order X bottles of whatever. And unfortunately, we don't do that. We recommend doing a full assessment of them to find out if their system does require that, but we will not sell a bottle of something just because, quote unquote, it's, told to us by the mass media or by the general public or by whatever's friends, sisters, brothers, cousins told us that it was great. We don't do that. Nope, not at all. So high quality supplements, again, sorry, I didn't complete my story, but I did want to say, I am guilty. I am guilty of looking at all of those supplements and going, oh my God, I absolutely need that. I need this. I need that. Oh my, yeah, I'm sure. I do the testing on myself. My mentor, Dr. Keith Roberts, I've spoken about him a few times already. He's on episode 3, I believe, of the podcast. Go check that one out too. Really cool. He is the developer of dynamic system analysis, which is the tool that we use to get the reading on the person's body to find out exactly what supplementation they do need, and obviously that eliminates all the supplements that they don't need, but we're also getting a full reading of all the systems of their body and not just basing all of our work on supplementation, because there's work that can be done to help support their system outside of the supplementation. And that's stuff that we do. I'll talk about that later on in the episode. But high quality supplements may not be right for you. Your body may not be able to like handle those. And so I don't care if it's A+ quality, it is not able to be broken down appropriately. It gets broken down, but again, you're stressing the system out. You're causing the body to have to pause all of its processes that it was doing in one area to now focus on taking care of this item that you just threw at it because you heard something fantastic about it. Going back to the story, I told you about 3 different supplements that we hear so much about: zinc, vitamin D, and vitamin C. Well, did you know too high of dosing on vitamin C can cause loose stools and, all sorts of GI dysfunction? Too much vitamin D3, you can start having ill effects of that. Too little vitamin D, you can also start having ill effects of that. If you're actually not taking vitamin D without K2, K2 is vitamin D3's best friend. It helps get the D into the tissues. It tells the D, hey, D, let's go. We're going to go into this tissue cell. We're going to go into this muscle now, and you're going to do your work there. If we don't get proper D3 with the K2 in the amount that we need, we're essentially taking a bunch of vitamin D for the sake of it, and we're wasting money. Hello, people. This is about taking a very concentrated amount of something you actually need in the dosing that you need. So you're being like effective in your work, and you're not like throwing all of your whole systems off, right? You're able to utilize what is coming at it. We don't want to waste our time and money trying to get healthy only to find out that what we're doing isn't working. I have to throw in a really quick story here about a patient who presented to our office who was taking upwards of 75 different supplements. If you follow me on Instagram, at Dr. Brook Sheehan, you will see a few posts down, I did this post about supplementation and taking too much and doing more harm to the body than good. She was taking high quality supplements. She was using the nutraceuticals that we use in the office. However, she was taking too many of something, too little of others, and not enough of something that she actually did need. We peeled it all back, and guess what? Two or three different supplements, and she was golden. All of the other things, all of the ailments she was facing and working through were so like easily dealt with. And that's the thing that excites me about this work, you guys. Like, and I know that I get like fired up about things, but I just have to say, like, I don't know where this idea or this wisdom was put out, quote unquote wisdom was put out, that our minds, or that us as finite thinkers, are far greater than the infinite knowledge and intelligence that exists all around us. Because clearly something is going wrong. And, I don't care how healthy a food is, or how healthy a supplement is, or how healthy, quote unquote, certain exercises are. If it's not right for you, it is not right for you. Okay. If it doesn't work with your body, if your body is responding to it in a negative way, it is not right for you. And it's important to do what's right for you so you can reach those levels of health that I speak about so many times over and over, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. The body is amazing, and it's intelligent, and it knows exactly what it needs to reach all of those levels of health in those areas, physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally without our trying to get it to do its stuff based on what we think it should do. Okay. Because it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work. It doesn't do what we think it should do. It does what it does to protect itself or to, help like other functions run better. And a lot of times we cause more stress and we cause more harm, and we don't allow the body to fully heal and restore itself. And eventually it stops adapting. Eventually it stops being able to handle the toxic load that came at it, or it becomes unavailable to, keep your hair like full and, full, right? Like, and thick. And then you end up with thinning and really coarse hair. And then you go, well, what's wrong? Guess what? The body was whispering to you long before the hair started going really dry and falling out. The body was saying something. It's not an absence of hair, skin, and nail supplement, or an absence of, biotin, or an absence of da 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 da. Fill in the blank. No, the body is far more intelligent. Okay. Like, I something I am so passionate about. So high quality supplements can be harmful. Okay. Don't do them if you don't need them. I, as a DSA practitioner, as a practitioner of dynamic system analysis, go back to episode 5 in the series if you haven't already heard that, where I speak about what dynamic system analysis is. And I can help you really put together a supplement plan that works for you. I do, supplement strategy sessions to help really take your medicine cabinet, quote unquote, if you have, 10 to 15 different bottles of stuff that you've bought, and really get you to the right dosing of those particular supplements, but more importantly, like to remove ones that you may or may not need, as well as, just adding in those additional support ones that you might need. I also do full-blown telehealth visits where I do a full testing into your system, into all of the organ functions, into all of, how all of the systems are working, into any emotional stresses, anything that is causing like dis-ease in your body. I go through all of this through the DSA testing. And so, through those supplement strategy sessions or the telehealth visits, doing lab report analysis for you, really we can kind of help put a big plan together for you so you can kind of get to reach these levels of health, again, without wasting time and wasting necessary money, because truly, like that, we don't want to have to sit here and spend money thinking that we're getting healthy when all we're doing is causing more harm down the road. Like DSA all the way, baby. In a couple minutes that I have left here, I did want to share with you guys about Amazon. Okay. So there's this whole ploy, like a lot of people, try to, I can find this supplement on Amazon. And while that might be true to some like regard, you can absolutely find supplements on Amazon. It is really important to make sure that whoever the manufacturer is of the actual supplement you're trying to get, make sure that it's actually fulfilled by that manufacturer, that supplement company, because what happens is actually a lot of times, and this happens more often than not, is the supplements that are being sold on there are being sold by ABC Consulting or limited company so-and-so, and you think it's a high quality when in reality they peeled back a label off of one lower quality bottle, peeled on that higher quality label, charged their prices, and you think you're getting a good deal, but the efficacy of that supplement is not at all what it should be. And sometimes actually these are expired supplements. These are supplements that might have been sitting on the shelves for too long. The thing with expired supplements, I do want to make a quick caveat, is with expired supplements, it's not necessarily, depending of course on the high quality, right? If it's a high quality supplement that you purchased and it expired, It may not be necessary to quote unquote throw that bottle completely out. It means that the dosing of it, like the quality of the supplement has gone down a bit. So you're going to want to like take higher dose amount of it to reach the levels that were originally intended. Again, those serving sizes though are not for you. They're for just a standard generalized population. And it's important to get things properly dosed out. I shared a story in one of the prior episodes about just not taking the right dose of a supplement. And actually, it was a supplement, just to recap that story if you missed that episode, but a supplement for like a possible cancer, a pathology. And, you know, that was showing up in some of the work that I was doing with my mentor doctor, that my body was showing a subclinical level, like meaning a lower than subclinical, like lower than it was, you know, being like none of the markers would have necessarily showed up for it, but there was low level degrees of it. And so in taking this supplement, you know, if I followed the daily dose on the bottle, I would have been taking one a day for 60 days. However, the dose that my body needed was 3 pills twice a day. So essentially, you know, near like a 600% increase or 500% increase, if you want to look at it like that, in the actual amount that I needed. So it was important that I actually utilized taking what I needed, because again, this is a really expensive supplement. It was not cheap. And imagine me just doing the one a day for nothing and my body going, okay, cool, thanks, whatever this is, like process it out, get it out, excrete it out of the system. I can't use this, whatever, right? Because it doesn't even acknowledge that it's there. So I hope you found this episode as informative as I had shared in the beginning, that I actually, you know, I know you may have found it informative. I know your body will thank you for listening, for learning about how important supplementation is. I will be sure to put my contact information in the show notes so that you can get in touch with me should you have any questions. If you'd love to follow along the journey, the health journey, and figuring out how the body talks and speaks and learning different things along the way, connect with me on social media at Dr. Brook Sheehan. So excited to have this conversation with you today. And I just wish you all the best and beautiful blessings as you go about your day and you learn how to take care of you in the best way possible. Because this, my friend, is healthcare as unique as you. Signing off for now, Dr. Brook out, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Body Talks podcast with me, Dr. Brook Sheehan, where you're learning to pay close attention to the whispers your body is speaking so you can live a life fully expressed physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally without spending time and money on healthy items that aren't right for you. You're uniquely made, and your healthcare needs should reflect that. To learn more or how you can work with me, visit drbrookSheehan.com, that's Brook without an E, and discover your answers today.